In this lesson, we will investigate the free scale behavior. This free scale behavior enables dynamic resizing of an object on any axis x, y, or z. Let's begin by adding an element, let's say a circle, to the center of the screen. It doesn't really matter which size at this point. Notice that the circle is now also depicted in the tree view to the left of the layout. First thing that I'd recommend is putting this into a group and then always adding the behavior to that group, so that in the future, if you want to add any other elements that are associated with behavior, you can just add it into the group and the behavior will be driven because it's in the group. So double click on this group tab, going to the behaviors tab of this edit shape dialog box. We will insert, and from the drop down list we will select free scale. Two options it requires of us. One is a plug, a named memory variable to determine the scale of the object as it's rendered. So we'll select plug, and it brings up the select variable dialog box. So here we will add our variable, and let's call it something like free scale, for example. It's scaling here on the XY axes, so it is an array of two floats. Hit OK. And to save time later, I will go ahead and copy it now to the test data generator. So select OK there. OK. The next thing it asks for is where is the center of scale to be from. Typically in an object you'd want it at the geographic center, but one might want it somewhere else. For now I'll select center, and then use the mouse to select the center of the circle with a click there. Notice the blue dot depicting the center of scale. So that's it for the scale behavior. I'll say OK. And I'll go ahead and run it now. Notice that there's nothing showing on the screen because when IData initializes, all the variables are 0. So I'll bring up my test data generator. Right click, because it's already on the clipboard, select paste, and here are my two free scale behaviors. Let's say I go to the first one, that's slew information type. I'll say bounce, and I'll go from 0 to 2, increments of 0.1. Do the same thing for the y variable, slew of bounce, 0 to 2, increment of 0.1. And once I start the driver, my group of elements is being scaled. Now it's being scaled reference the size that it was drawn. So 0 obviously would be the 0 size, and the 2 at the top of the scale would be twice as large as it was initially drawn. And that's in its simplest form the free scale behavior.